The courtroom smelled like polished wood and quiet cruelty. I sat perfectly still while my wife cried. Real tears. Convincing tears. The jury leaned forward. The prosecutor watched carefully. Even the judge softened his eyes for a moment. Then she said it. I was trapped with a nobody. Her voice cracked just enough. Perfect timing. I was scared of him, of what he might do. The room turned toward me. 12 strangers measuring my life with silent eyes. I didn't react. I never do. Inside, though, something ancient and cold tightened its grip around my spine. Nobody. For 20 years, I built hospitals, funded research, saved lives. But in that moment, I was simply a convenient villain in the story she was selling. My wife, Dr. Elena Markov, brilliant surgeon, public humanitarian, private architect of betrayal. The judge cleared his throat. Dr. Markov, he said gently, please continue. She wiped her eyes. I never planned any of this. I was manipulated. Manipulated, a fascinating word. Because in my pocket, resting quietly inside a flash drive, lived a different story. One where she wasn't the victim, one where she was the author. The judge didn't know yet. The jury didn't know yet. But in exactly 7 minutes, they would, and when the video finished playing, the judge would look at her with a kind of disappointment that cuts deeper than anger. He would say only one sentence. Doctor, you violated every oath. 40 years would follow. But that moment, that quiet realization, was the real sentence. The betrayal didn't begin in court. It began on a Tuesday night, Thanksgiving week. My phone rang while I was reviewing surgical notes. My daughter-in-law's voice exploded through the speaker. If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes. A pause, laughter behind her. My son's voice somewhere in the background. I waited. Silence is powerful when used correctly. Then I said one word. Enjoy. And hung up. Strange. The things people reveal when they think you've become irrelevant. For months I had noticed subtle changes. Conversations that stopped when I entered rooms. Financial movements Elena couldn't explain. A cold distance from my son that hadn't existed before. But suspicion without proof is useless. Emotion clouds judgment. I prefer evidence. 3 days later, while reviewing property documents, I discovered the first fracture in the story of my life. A transfer. Large. Very large. Signed by Elena. Destination. A private medical investment account I had never authorized. The account owner? My son. I didn't confront them. Confrontation is what amateurs do. Instead, I started watching, listening, waiting. Because betrayal always gets careless eventually. And Elena had become extremely careless. The investigation took 4 months. 4 very quiet months. I checked phone records first. Not hers, my son's. Calls between them. Constant. Late night. Early morning. Private encrypted messaging. A strange intimacy hidden beneath clinical conversations. About research investments. So I hired someone. A discreet digital forensic analyst. The results arrived slowly. Emails. Encrypted files. Video calls. Elena wasn't just transferring money. She was building something. A medical startup. Using my reputation. My funding channels. My professional connections. But the ownership structure was interesting. My name was nowhere. Only 2 founders appeared on the legal drafts. Dr. Elena Markov and my son, not business partners. Partners in something far more deliberate. The real revelation came from a security backup. Elena believed she had deleted everything from her laptop. But hospitals archive network traffic. Every login, every upload, every video meeting. My analyst recovered one recording. Just one, 43 minutes long. I watched it alone. In my study. The room very quiet. Elena sat across from my son on screen, relaxed. Laughing. Planning. How long before he notices? My son asked. She shrugged. He won't. He trusts me. A small smile. Cruel, confident. And once the funding transfers? He asked. She leaned back. We disappear. Switzerland, new clinic, new life. Then she added something I will never forget. He's useful. But he's nobody without us. Nobody. The word again. Funny how people repeat their favorite lies. I saved the video and waited. Because revenge isn't loud. It's patient. The arrest came first. Financial fraud. Misappropriation of medical investment funds. Elena panicked immediately. My son vanished within 48 hours. Smart boy. But Elena believed something else entirely. She believed I would defend her. That loyalty still existed between us. That illusion lasted exactly 3 days. The courtroom was her stage. Her final performance. She blamed pressure, manipulation, fear. Then she blamed me. I was trapped with a nobody. The judge nodded toward the defense. "Do you wish to respond?" I stood slowly. Every movement deliberate. "No statement, Your Honor." A pause. "But I would like the court to view one piece of evidence." The prosecutor frowned. "What evidence?" I placed the flash drive on the table. Dr. Markov planning the entire operation. Elena's face changed instantly. Not panic. Recognition. She knew exactly what it was. The screen lit up. The video played. 43 minutes. No interruptions. No excuses. Just Elena. Being honest. When the video ended, the silence was heavier than any shouting match. The judge removed his glasses, looked directly at her, and said quietly, "Doctor, you violated every oath." Elena began crying. But the performance was over. The sentencing happened 2 weeks later. 40 years. Fraud. Conspiracy. Professional misconduct. Her license revoked permanently. She tried to speak to me afterward. Guards allowed 30 seconds. "Why didn't you warn me?" she whispered. I looked at her the way one studies an insect. "You said I was nobody." Her voice broke. "I didn't mean—" "You did." Silence. Then I added softly, "I just gave you the opportunity to prove it." They took her away. No shouting, no begging, just quiet defeat. But the real revenge happened a month later. My daughter-in-law called again. 71 times. I never answered. Until she saw the photos. My villa, Switzerland. Lake Zurich behind the glass walls. The clinic I had quietly purchased years earlier. A place Elena had dreamed about. A life she believed she could steal. She left one final voicemail. "Please, can we talk?" I deleted it. People assume revenge feels powerful. It doesn't. It feels quiet, like closing a door that should have been shut long ago. I live in Switzerland now. The air is cleaner. The silence deeper. No family calls. No accusations. Just mountains and the slow rhythm of a life rebuilt from truth instead of illusion. Sometimes I think about Elena sitting in a small gray cell, thinking about the moment the video started playing, the exact second she realized the story had changed. But I don't feel anger anymore, only clarity. Because the greatest punishment isn't prison. It's understanding, too late, that the person you betrayed was the only reason you ever mattered. And now, you're the nobody.